Alright, today kicks off my birthday week, and I thought to celebrate this, I would just play with one of my all-time favorite characters, which is Namor. Namor, I think he is probably my second or third favorite champion. Number one is, of course, Mole Man, and that'll pretty much always be the case. But yeah, Namor I just love so much, and I feel like Namor is honestly better than ever, because with the introduction of Atuma, Namor is much more utilized now, because Atuma is probably the best defender in the game, because he is just so annoying to fight. His Thorns damage now is just so persistent, so he is just an absolute powerhouse defender. And Namor is just the perfect counter for him. He just counters him completely. There is pretty much no struggle whatsoever. So yeah, he is just, I think, the safest option for sure. But not only that, Namor doesn't just take Atuma, he also takes a lot of different fights. For example, right here, this America Chavez, this 7-star Chavez, he is just destroying this fight because her reverb dimension, he doesn't care about that, right? He can just, just not worry about it whatsoever, just brush past it, and then we can just end the fight real quick with an SP1. And yeah, this video is kind of old. I've been saving these Namor fights for ever now, and yeah, that was I think last season. And now we have this Kingpin fight. This is this meta, so at least I have some modern footage, right? And yeah, this is a rank 5 Kingpin, and Namor, he is good for pretty much any bleed immune or any purified champion, because he gets massive outrage that way. And he's also just good for, honestly, he's just a decent champion for any fight pretty much. But in these bleed immune matchups, in these purified matchups, he just shines the most, I feel like. And yeah, people don't really realize that, and they think he's just an Atuma counter, but honestly, no, he is much more than just an Atuma counter. He is a very capable character, I feel like. So yeah, Namor, I just love this champion so much. Like I said, I think he's my second or third favorite champion out there. And why I like him so much is because of the water animations, obviously. Just big fan of them. I love water animations so much, and Namor has them. So does Atuma, and that's why I just love both of these champions, right? But I prefer Namor because I think he's better on attack, and what's the point of having good animations if you don't see them and you don't play them, right? So that's why I prefer Namor. And also he just is, his design is just so good. His design is just top tier. And yeah, I'm such a big fan of Namor, man. Second favorite, probably. Number one, of course, being Mole Man, without a doubt. And now we have this 7-star Mangog here. And Mangog, when you think of Mangog, you don't think of Namor as a counter, but no, he counters him really well. And this meta that was going on in this fight was terrible. It was a power snack meta, and it also had prowess puncture as well, so it was just not a fun time whatsoever. But Namor still does it with absolute ease. So that's why I love Namor so much, because he can take a lot of complex fights that you wouldn't think he'd be able to take, but no, he takes them very well. So here I dropped the SP3, and the SP3, in my opinion, is one of the best in the game. I do think though that Atuma has the better SP3. I will give him that. I think his SP3 is just the best in the game probably. But then watch this. We dropped the SP2, 81,000 there, into a combo, 14,000. Fight is just done in about 55 seconds, which is pretty good for a 7-star Mangog, right? Now we have this fight here. This is Eternity Pain Dormammu, and this fight is annoying, really annoying, because the degen is just crazy. His Footloose is also really annoying too, but also there is a bit of a little trick with Namor here, because whenever the opponent is immune to something, he gets an outrage, right? And this includes stun effects. So watch this. We go in for the parry, it says immune, and then we get an outrage, right? So yeah, being stun immune also gives a massive benefit to Namor as well. So that's just sweet, man. He has a lot of good fights, and it just keeps on going up and up, right? So it's perfect. That's why I think Namor is just better than ever, because he is still really viable for even the toughest fights out there, right? Because yeah, this fight is a really tough fight. You can't go in and just solo this to anyone. It is not possible whatsoever. But then watch this. I dropped the SP3 here. I went for the parry there. And then we are now in Imperious Rex, so I dropped the SP3 again. And now it is showtime. So I dropped the SP3. We skip it right there, drop the SP2, no crit unfortunately, but then we go back in, drop the heavy attack, 1 crit there, and then a nice 100,000 crit there, go back in, drop another heavy attack into the SP2 once more, 1 crit there, not too bad, go back in, drop the relic, 23,000 medium by the way, and then yeah, the fight is just done. And that is just a bit absurd. That was just so good. Like 1 minute and 14 seconds as well. Just a really fast time and also just a really clean time as well. So yeah, Namor for Eternity Pain Dormammu is just one of the best options out there. But also, to be fair, if he wasn't rank 5, he wouldn't be able to do that probably. So just keep that in mind. My Namor at rank 5 is... I think having him at rank 5 lets me do a lot more fights than he, like, really shouldn't be doing. For example, that Dormammu fight, right? Like, as a rank 3 6-star, he wouldn't be able to take it in, like, one shot, but rank 5 Namor does. So, yeah, having that rank 5, like, stat boost really does help him for sure. And is he the best rank 5 out there? Obviously, like, not, right? There's better options for sure, but is he a good one? I think he is, because Namor at rank 5 can do some things that Namor at like rank 3 couldn't do for sure. And while I think at rank 4 he does his job pretty well, rank 5 just makes him a little bit faster too, because you can just cash in early on the Imperious Rex. So yeah, I feel like it is a pretty good rank up if you want to. Of course, there are other options like, you know, Katie Pride, Omega Red, and just champs like that, right? But to be fair, do they have water animations? No. So that's why Namor is the best rank up out there. Of course, I am kidding. There's a few better mutants for sure, but I think Namor still isn't a bad rank 5. I think he's a really fun one and a really good one too. And like I said, water animations make him so worth it, man. So worth it. But yeah, the fight is going pretty well. My intercept game is on point, which is surprising because I'm usually really bad at intercepting. So yeah, I'll take it. Pretty surprising, but it is what it is. So now I dropped the SP3, and honestly, people seem to forget that his SP3 gives him a massive fury, right? And it's not like he is just an SP2 character. He is a very strong damage dealer with any hit that he does. Like, his medium attacks are doing 14,000 there. He is a very strong DPS, and it's not just the SP2. It's a lot of different things about him. Like, his SP1 bleeds as well do a ton of damage too. So his damage output is really like divided. It's not just the SP2, it's the medium attacks, it's the heavy attacks sometimes if you want, it's like the SP1 bleeds, and yeah, just overall a very good damage dealer because his damage isn't just on one thing. And like, that's what makes a damage dealer really good, because if they just have like one way of doing damage, then yeah, of course they won't be the best one out there, because like, let's say you can't access that, right? But that's just not the case with Namor. And this fight here is pretty cool because this is a bleed lane, and Namor, I know that his like bleeds aren't the strongest, but even just having the bleeds really helps him because it lets him do some pretty like unique lanes, to be honest. Like, for example, the skill lane right here he's taken, even though he's a mutant character. But honestly, Namor doesn't have like the most mutant tropes, I feel like. He just has, what does he have that's a mutant trope? I guess benefit from getting bled. He does have like a passive prowess on his Imperious Rex. He also does have access to like purify punishment. So he does have some mutant tropes, but also he's pretty unique in the class, and no one else has what he has with his signature ability, right? Like, that is unique to Namor. No one else has that. I mean, some champions try to have it, like Omega Red with his non-contact hits, but that isn't the same as what Namor does. What Namor does is just unique to himself. Actually, I think the Netflix Daredevil does have it, but his is weird. I don't know how it works necessarily, but I know it's not all the time, so it's not better than Namor's, obviously. But here I dropped the SP3 after we enter Rex, and now it's time to just start doing our pretty good damage output, right? Now watch this. We go in, drop the SP2, now we drop it. Yeah, there we go. No crit yet. There we get a crit. Very big crit of 130,000 damage. So pretty sweet there. And yeah, the fight is just done. Namor just being a monstrous damage dealer as per usual. And now we have this other bleed lane. And Namor, he is not like a bleed character, right? His damage output isn't majority bleed. It is just usually basic hits or special attack hits, right? But that still doesn't mean that he can use his bleeds for utility. And I know like he doesn't want to bleed the opponent, obviously, because if you bleed the opponent, you don't get outrage, and you want the outrage, but it's like a fair trade-off. And I know that Namor did get like adjusted, or let's be honest, he got nerfed, right, with the old rebalancing program, which was just terrible, like the biggest flop ever, I feel like. He did get like adjusted there, right? And that gave him a very high bleed chance of 60% per medium attack. And of course, that is not beneficial in most fights, but for fights like this, it's actually pretty dang good. So it does have its pros and cons for sure. But yeah, the change to Namor was just so unnecessary. And the worst part was they just changed him, and then like they were like, okay, no one else, we're ending the program now. And it was like, hey, can you just like revert Namor, please? But they're like, nope. Yeah, it's a bit silly, but also, Namor's still fantastic, like a very, very strong champion, even post-nerf. So yeah, it is what it is. I guess technically he isn't better than ever because he was his best when he first came out, but I'm not going to change the title because I think it still stands. He is better than ever because he's being used the most right now. But also, I just think Namor... Yeah, I just think it was messed up because like Invisible Woman didn't get buffed either, so it was just purely a Namor nerf, and that was it. And then they were like, yeah, we're done with this program. And it's just like, hey man, that's kind of messed up. You changed to one champion and then you just end the program. Like, at least revert the guy, right? But no, they just didn't. But it's whatever. He's still a very powerful character. I think like even pre-nerf, I feel like they would still be similar power level, to be honest. Yeah, I think they would, because Namor's best fights are the bleed immune ones anyway, so that doesn't change with the nerf. It like doesn't change whatsoever. So yeah, I think he's still at his best, to be honest. And this fight here, this is a very good showing of like his ability to get a lot of outrage whenever you get bled. Like watch this, we dash back and we can just build a ton of outrages. Like look at this. A lot of outrages there, just so fast as well. So whenever he's a horseman, he can just cheese some bleed lanes, I feel like. So like watch this, we go back in and we just dash a ton, get a ton of outrages there. It is just so much fun to do. And yeah, the fight is pretty much over now. We can just go back in, drop the SP3 eventually. I think I do it now. Or do I? Yeah, I do it now. And now it's time to just start doing some pretty crazy damage output. So we go in, do a combo, 19,000 medium, I think that was pretty sweet. Drop another SP3 here, and it is time to start doing some even better damage. 105,000 there, no crit there, but it's fine. We go back in, get a 28,000 medium, and yeah, fight is just done. Very, very solid fight there. Now we have this very fun mutant lane, and honestly, for a mutant quester, he's honestly not too bad, because with these high health pools, his damage output is like contending with the best mutants out there, because this is a health pool that he wants, I feel like. And before like these health pools were a thing, he was arguably too slow, right? But now he's not, because these health pools are like common now in questing, which is pretty sweet. So he is a very good quester at this point, which is awesome, because yeah, who doesn't want to use Namor in questing? Like look at the animations, they're just top tier. When I want to quest, I want to use someone that's fun, and Namor is very, very fun, I feel like. I think, yeah, that's a general consensus, right? Like, he's fun. Like, that's what y'all think, too. I hope that's what y'all think, because he is so much fun for me, at least. But I am very, very biased. Like, very, 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 very biased. So, we need to get some other opinions here. But here I can just drop the SP3 now after I go for a parry, hopefully soon. I think I do. Yeah, right here. Oh, no, I don't. I just drop it anyway. Fun times. But then we can go back in, drop the SP3 now, and then now it is time to just start doing some pretty good damage output, hopefully. So watch this. We go back in after this, and one crit there, very nice. And then a massive 274,000 crit. Very fun times. Very, very fun times. Now we have this Luke Cage fight, and Luke Cage is bleed immune, right? So we are just in a good spot here, because Namor versus bleed immune characters is just the best time ever. So yeah. Namor I just love so much. I can talk about him all day, to be honest, because he's just one of my favorites, 100%. I know I said Mole Man is number one, and that is the case. And honestly, I cannot wait for the Mole Man video this week, because yeah, Mole Man, I'm gonna be talking about him so much in that video. It's gonna be insane. I cannot wait for that. Should be a very fun time. But yeah, Namor, second favorite. I had a lot of fun today playing with him, because he is always fun to talk about and always fun to like revisit. And we dropped SP3 here. Very, very good fight so far. We go back in. Imperious Rex is active now, so we can drop another SP3. And yeah, the fight is just pretty much wrapped up now. So watch this. We go back in, drop the SP2. No crit, unfortunately, but that's fine, because we can go back in, drop the SP2 again. No crits there. One crit there of a pretty like massive number, right? And yeah, the fight is just over now. So yeah, Namor is just a very fun champion overall. I think he is a very solid character still. I think he is at his best right now. So yeah, let me know your thoughts on Namor, and yeah, that's about it for me.